Senator Reed.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And for the record, I'd just like to say that President Trump's efforts to strong arm the Federal Reserve have been simply deplorable, and they threaten to undermine confidence in our economy. And we're seeing that confidence ebb every day. In contrast, I would note that when Presidents Clinton, Obama, and Biden came into office and had the chance to nominate federal chairs, they all chose to retain the individuals picked by their Republican predecessors. That's an example of the bipartisanship and also independence that previous presidents have extended. This president has not done that. Now, Mr. Miran, you've had a discussion with the ranking member. You have written on the subject of partisanship that the revolving door between the Fed and the executive branch brings politics into federal policy making. You wrote, quote, leadership that was traditionally regarded as technocratic has been replaced with highly qualified but highly political personnel who move freely between the White House and the Eccles building, which is the executive office building, or one of them. Oh, no, excuse me, that's the Federal Reserve. So what is your current job now?
Thank you for the question, Senator.
What is your current job?
My current job is the chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors.
In the White House, thank you. And so you're basically a living proof of the criticism that you lodged against the Federal Reserve Board, correct? You're a political partisan who works in the White House, who might be bright, but is ideologically disposed to the politics of Donald Trump.
Thank you, Senator. As I said a few moments ago, I view the act of deciding that the Federal Reserve is the institution to take on climate change as a highly political, non-technocratic act. And if I am confirmed to the Federal Reserve, I'll make it my goal to keep the Federal Reserve to its core missions.
That's an interesting concept because in my other capacity in national security, the Department of Defense is extremely sensitive to climate change because it is altering the threats that face us every day. And I'll speak for myself, but anybody who believes climate change is mythical is essentially posturing. Now, you're a member of the Council of Economic Advisors. If you're confirmed, will you resign from the council?
Thank you, Senator. I have received advice from counsel that what is required is an unpaid leave of absence from the Council of Economic Advisors. And so considering the term for which I'm being nominated is a little bit more than 4 months, that is what I will be taking. As long as that is the advice of counsel, I will follow the law.
Well, your independence has already been seriously compromised by your statement. You are going to be technically an employee of the President of the United States, but an independent member of the board of the Federal Reserve? That's ridiculous. And you also said that a Federal Reserve Board member should refrain from involvement for 4 years after he leaves office with any executive branch. Are you committed to that also?
Thank you, Senator. Look, I'm committed to the independence of the Federal Reserve. I have in the past proposed a suite of reforms to improve governance of the Federal Reserve. That suite was a package deal. It was a system of checks and balances designed to diffuse political power and isolate the Fed from political interference. It would be inappropriate to take one check or balance away from the entire suite and think about implementing.
So the answer is no. So you're going to be a consistent leader. You're going to be an employee of the President of the United States on leave. So he can call you up in his capacity as president and say, here, I want you to do this, this, and this. Well, I guess I have to do it since I'm an employee of the president. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now, finally, you noted last year, in quote, that the firing for cause protections under the law were inappropriate, and you recommended Congress remove those protections. You went on to recommend that to provide constitutional legitimacy if and when the president is allowed to fire governors at will, the president should voluntarily announce that he will refrain from removing any incumbent board members or Federal Reserve Bank leaders through their terms. If the courts grant President Trump the authority to fire federal governors for any reason at any time, will you commit to advising the president publicly to refrain from exercising this authority consistent with your recommendations in 2024?
Thank you, Senator. As I said just a few moments ago, that proposal was a package deal. It was a suite of checks and balances, and it's highly inappropriate to take one check or balance outside of the context of the overall package. Checks and balances work between the Congress and the executive and the judiciary, the two chambers of Congress, because they all work in conjunction and prevent power from being concentrated.
So the answer is no, and that you will cooperate if he tries through any means to eliminate a member of the Federal Reserve Board. Thank you very much.